Hi guys, welcome to my channel, Guy with a Plant. In today's Plant Spotlight episode, we'll be featuring the Scindapsus, Pictus, Exotica. The Scindapsus pictus is an aroid plant from the family of Araceae, and of course the genus is Scindapsus. It's native to Asian countries like Philippines, Sumatra, Malaysia, and in nature this plant can grow up to about 10 meters in height. It is a climber, so it likes to climb on flat surfaces like the tree trunk, or a wall. I mean, if there's a wall in nature. So these big leaves, they can become shingling. That means they grow flat on the surface and it shingles upwards and becomes a very tall and lengthy plant. It is also commonly known as the satin pothos or the silver philodendron, even though it is not a pothos or a philodendron. It is a genus by itself, Scindapsus. But you can understand why it's commonly named as such because of the blotchy silvery variegation that is on the green leaves. Really beautiful. And this type of variegation is known as the reflective or blister variegation. When I first got it, it was September last year, so it's almost 1 full year, and it was a very small specimen, I think about 6 to 7 leaves. When I brought it home, I put it on the shelf that is next to the balcony there. But it was way behind, so it was receiving very little light. So I think it was a little bit way too dim for it. And yeah, I wasn't happy. Every time I water it, I'll get yellow leaves 2-3 days later, and it is not growing very much. Yeah, so I've decided to move this to the window in my kitchen, and it gets very regular light throughout the day, and especially very bright indirect light because the window was kind of partially blocked by another building. So it seems to like it. As I mentioned, it needs bright indirect light for it to grow more profusely. But of course, medium light will do. It's just that the growth will be slower. Just don't put it under direct sun. It will definitely burn these very velvety leaves. Watering is always tricky, but for Scindapsus, it is better to err on the side of underwatering because if you give it too much water too frequently, it will reward you with a lot of yellow leaves. But the good thing about this plant is that it is pretty expressive, so when it needs to be watered, its leaves will curl up, and then you know it's time to give it the drink. When it comes to humidity, this is not particularly fussy about it. As you can see, it is giving me really big leaves with no browning or yellow edges. And yeah, it's living its best life here with ambient humidity. My humidity levels here are very erratic. It ranges from 40s to 60s, averaging about 50s, but yet it is still looking really, really good. It is still sitting in this its original potting medium, which I think is pretty peaty, and it retains quite a bit of water. So that's why I don't really water it that frequently anyway. It is serving it well at the moment. but once I repot this, I will change it to a more well-draining and airy aeroid mix. For fertilizing, I use a slow-release fertilizer, and also when I water it, I put a little bit of liquid fertilizer, very mild, maybe about 1/10 of the recommended dosage. When it comes to pests, I don't have any issues at the moment, knock on wood. But I do understand that they are prone to spider mites or scale. I mean, not really prone because I think they're pretty pest resilient. So what I do is sometimes when I water them, I'll just spray them under running tap, and that seems to keep the pests away. I've not propagated these before, but from what I read, I think it's pretty easy to propagate just like the pothos by cutting them at below the nodes and putting the cuttings in water or perlite. So yeah, I will be trying it really soon, and I'll be doing an episode on setting up a propagation box. So this will definitely be one of the plants that I will be cutting off to get more. If you are a beginner and looking for something that is really easy and hardy, but you don't want a pothos because that's too commonplace, or you don't want something that is too fussy, you know who I'm talking about. Yeah, do consider the Scindapsus, because you can keep this as a trailing plant. As you let it trail, it'll give you, of course, the leaves might become smaller and smaller, or if you put it up a moss pole, it will definitely reward you with much bigger leaves. But check out these leaves, they are really very big. And the variegation. In terms of ease of care, I will definitely give it a 9 out of 10. Even though it's not as fast growing, but it will definitely not give you so many problems. So that's all for today's plant spotlight. This is the Scindapsus Pictus Exotica. Thank you for watching, and if you like my contents, I hope you can be a subscriber. Just hit the notification and subscribe button, and hope to see you in my next video. Meanwhile, take care and be safe. Bye.